All right, good morning, guys. How are you? Welcome into the Daily Juice live stream here off of bettingpros.com, our YouTube channel. My name is Matt Perrault. Welcome to Week 10 of the NFL, a week unlike any other. Why? Because just over the camera, I'm watching the Masters. So we're going to go through all the games like we always do. I've got the prop bets for you guys I'm going to give. You guys will see over here on the corner, you'll see the 5 plays I've got going. Hopefully, you've already gone and listened to the Daily Juice. If you want more of an in-depth explanation as to why I'm playing those 5 games, the Daily Juice every single morning is where you go and get that. Now, in the comment section, go ahead and give me your thoughts, give me your questions, give me your predictions, whatever you want to do in the comment section, go ahead and do that, and I will get to that throughout the next hour with you here for an hour on our live stream. So, we got golf going on with Dustin Johnson and a plus 850 ticket riding on that. I got John Rahm and I've got Rory McIlroy up against Bryson DeChambeau, who's been playing fairly well today. So I got a little nerves going into that, all right? So I'm not distracted, but I'm definitely paying attention to golf this morning as we go through here the final round of the Masters. Secondly, we've got obviously a ton of weather to talk about here in the country, namely in Ohio and the Midwest. So, as we always do, we'll start with a ton of the information as to where we are right now. Cleveland's going to be the windiest game of the day, with wind gusts upwards of 55 miles per hour with sustained winds from 25 to 30 miles per hour, which is more than the last time we played a game involving the Cleveland Browns at home. That was against the Raiders, a 16-6 final. This is windier than it was then. As we always talk about on the Daily Juice, we don't care about snow. We don't care about rain. We don't care about heat or cold. We care about wind. And when it's this windy, you can't punt, you can't kick, you can't do really anything. Everything is all over the place. Everything is going crazy. So in terms of where we are right now, look, I think that there's going to be a lot of issues to talk about today and a lot of things to get into today when it comes to where we're going to be with the weather. So Cleveland, number 1, Pittsburgh, number 2, Green Bay, number 3, all with a lot of wind and a lot of things going on today here for us with the live stream. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with that, but as you guys will see, we've got a bunch of things going on with plays. The under 45.5 is what I've already played here with Cleveland. I think this is going to be a brutal game to watch, but hey, that's an opportunity for us to go ahead and bet on it and make some money doing it. So let me get into some of the news and notes, some of the numbers coming in here. And I know you guys are going to be distracted as well as I am when it comes to where we are. We all have our eyes on other things, right? We're watching golf. We've got money riding on golf. So let's begin with that Houston Texans game on the road at the Cleveland Browns. So where we are right now, the number Cleveland, 64% of the bets and 55% of the money on the spread, minus 4.5 coming in here on Cleveland. Now, I like the Browns here as well, minus 3.5 if I was going to play it. But the weather came up and just totally got me away. And right now, because of all the early money that came in before people check the weather report, we've got 67% of the money at FanDuel, the bets, and 65% of the money at FanDuel on the over, which was 54.5. Okay? The over was 54.5, and everyone's on the over. But the weather came up, and now it's just 45.5. So if you're sitting on a ticket at 54.5 right now, I would get out of that bet if you can, and I would bet the other side and just have 2 bets and be flat because you're going to lose this bet, okay? I do not believe you're going to see a lot of points being scored today. I will be floored if we get anywhere near 50 with the weather we're seeing in Cleveland. I've been wrong before, but that would be striking to see these 2 offenses be able to do very much here unless we're talking about huge run plays. I mean, Houston is horrible against the run. I get that, but they're just going to stack the line because you can't pass. I mean, whether it be Baker Mayfield or Deshaun Watson, you know what you're going to do. You can't throw the ball farther than 10 yards because the wind's going to blow the thing around. So it makes it very difficult for those deep balls to Fuller, those deep balls to Cooks, those deep balls to Landry. I mean, it's an Austin Hooper day potentially, but really it's a running back game, but the defenses know that. So it's a little bit hard to even bet prop bets in this game. It's a mess. It's a very difficult game to handicap, but I like the under 45.5 for Houston and the Browns, as you guys heard on the Daily Juice this morning. All right, we're going to go into game 2. This number is charging towards the Eagles. Philly on the road at the Giants. I took the home dog in all of my Circa Million, DraftKings Pick'em, and the Westgate Super Contest. Took them all. Giants plus 3.5. Number going against me here. Philadelphia minus 5. They are laying 5 on the road. Oh my. Remember the stat we've been talking about? Divisional opponents, home dogs, catching points are 12-1 against the spread. Can Philly buck that trend? Absolutely, Philly can buck that trend. But right now, 53% of the money, 50% of the bets, 49% of the money coming in here on Philadelphia. And from an over 44.5, 76% of the bets and 75% of the money coming in here on the over 44.5. Bucks and the Panthers. Welcome to my game of the day. That's why I'm wearing the hat. All right, I've got the Bucks minus 6. I've got the Bucks in the teaser. I've got 3 picks all in the Bucks. If I'm wrong about Tampa Bay here today, I'm in real trouble. Okay, that's just the bottom line. If they lose this game or the Panthers keep it close, I'm in trouble. So I don't like where I'm at. I don't like the fact that I'm this heavy on this one game. I don't like that 82% of the bets and 82% of the money coming in here on Tampa. I don't like that everyone's expecting points. 75% of the bets coming in on the over. This is a classic Joe's play, right? This is just public city here. Doesn't mean we're going to lose, okay? But this is a public play with the Buccaneers laying 5.5 on the road. Again, back to the stat about divisional dogs catching points. I'm going against that trend here in this game big time. I don't like it, but I am. Dustin Johnson just made bogey. Brutal. Okay, that's going to be a sweat to watch Dustin Johnson. That's not good for DJ. Back to 15. He's the leader by 1 stroke, although Im is in trouble too right here on this hole. So Im's 2 under. Dustin Johnson's now 1 over. By the way, Dustin Johnson's 0-4. 0-4. He made 2 bogeys in his first 57 holes. He's made 2 bogeys in his last 2 holes. It's hard to win the Masters, man. It is not easy to win the Masters. It's a hard thing to do. But the lead is 1. We'll see if Im makes bogey as well. Cameron Smith's at 13 under, so not good. Not good. Okay, back to the games. So, again, I need Brady to be Brady. I need the Bucks to just kind of buck everything here and forget about the trends and forget about, on the road and just rid themselves of that Saints loss, and just do what they're supposed to do. Im made par, so the lead's 1 now. Sweat City for Dustin Johnson. Okay. Again, 0-4 going into the final round of a Masters with the lead. Final round of a major with the lead for Dustin Johnson, trying to buck that and win his first green jacket. So the Washington football team's going to start Alex Smith. How about this? Alex Smith, incredible story. Now will start today for Washington on the road at the Lions, minus 3 for the Lions. Total is 46.5. 63% of the bets, 68% of the money coming in here on the Lions, minus 3. Jaguars are on the road at the Packers. The number is 13.5. The total is 47. Jaguars are definitely live to cover that number, in my opinion, but weather's going to be a big factor. 83% of the bets coming in here on the Packers laying 13.5. Oh, my. Luton is not horrible at the quarterback spot for the Jaguars. The over, 73% of the money. Again, without looking at the weather, the public coming in here and just saying, 47 points, we're betting the over. Easy, right? It's Aaron Rodgers. Cold and wind in Green Bay. Buffalo on the road at the Cardinals. The game that I went back and forth on the most is this game. All right, I wanted to take the Cardinals, and then I wanted to tease the Bills, and then you got COVID-19 problems for a bunch of different players, a bunch of different defensive players, including Josh Norman for the Bills, and the Cardinals' defense has not been great. I think Buffalo is going to put up a lot of points today. The over, I think, is in play at 55.5. I thought about taking the over there, but 82% of the bets and 72% of the money coming in here on the total and the over. 55.5 for the Bills and the Cardinals. 54% of the bets on the Bills. So it's kind of a split here at FanDuel. But the Broncos on the road at the Raiders. This is one of my overs. I took 50. It's up to 50 and a half right now. 70% of the money the bets rather. 58% of the money coming in on the Raiders, laying 3 now, as a lot of Broncos money is coming late at FanDuel. A lot on the over, like me, though, 83%. That's a public play. Again, don't like that. Chargers at the Miami Dolphins. So the Chargers, after another horrific last-second loss on the road at Miami, some Charger buyback has come in here now. Line's 1.5. Total is 48.5. 66% of the bets, 68% of the money coming in on the Dolphins at home. If I was going to bet that game, I would bet the Dolphins, but I get the Chargers' love. I just got burned. 90% of the money and 90% of the bets are on the over 48.5 in that game. Bengals at the Steelers. The number now is dipped below 7. For one, I am all over the Bengals here. I got 3 picks going here at +7. And the other side of the teaser for us is Pittsburgh -1. 74% of the bets, 78% of the money is coming in here on the Pittsburgh Steelers. 81% of the bets and 61% of the money coming in on the total. 45.5. Again, weather. This is the second busiest or biggest wind game here for what's going on for this one. So careful. I'm betting the over there. San Francisco at New Orleans. So the Saints at home laying 9.5. The total is 49. 52% of the bets and 54% of the money split on this one at 9.5 for New Orleans. Everyone's on the over, however. 76% of the bets coming in on over 49. Seahawks and the Rams. I bet the Rams at 2. It's now 2.5. Total is 54.5. Seattle with 73% of the bets and 65% of the money. Public all over Seattle. Pros all over the Rams. This is the pros versus Joe's game of the day. I like being on the Rams. Total is 54.5, 85% of the bets and 75% of the money coming in here on the over. And how about this? 94% of the bets on Seattle money line here against the Rams. Everybody thinking Russ is going to cook, but that defense for Seattle is horrible. I mean, just straight up horrible. And then the Ravens, Sunday Night Football, Baltimore on the road at New England. That number finally has dropped below 7 as Patriot Pro money has come in here. -6.5 with 94% of the bets and 92% of the money coming in on Baltimore. 77% of the bets and 84% of the money coming in on the money line for the Ravens, and 66% on the over. 71% of the money, 66% of the bets and 71% of the money coming in here on the over for Week 10 in the NFL. So, interesting. Dustin Johnson starts the day at -180 at DraftKings. For that, obviously, there's a lot of pressure on this, on Dustin Johnson, who is probably going to have to relax a little bit here and find his game. Look, we've seen it before. He's puked all over himself on Sunday. That's why a bunch of you guys were asking me in the Discord channel yesterday, like, what do you do? Do you fade Dustin Johnson? Do you hedge on him? And I said, well, yeah, but who are you going to hedge on? I mean, there's just no real guaranteed guy. It's not like a head-to-head, right? I mean, Rory's 2 under right now, and Rory's charging. So at the worst, it looks like Rahm and Rory are going to wind up beating Bryson. So we got those 2 head-to-heads to cash. So that's good. Not what we want, obviously, right? We definitely want to wind up well more up than 0.75 units for the tournament. We want to wind up, up 4 units. And that's where Dustin Johnson comes in. So DJ's going to have to put together something here. And he's going to have to figure out what he's doing. Because right now, not in love with what's going on with Dustin Johnson for sure on that. Okay. What's my play on Tampa? Well, look, I mean, I laid 6. And I teased it down to a pick, okay? So I've got 3 team picks. I've got 2 bets going. That's why I'm wearing the Tampa hat. I need the good juju here because if Bridgewater, here's my philosophy in case you didn't hear on the Daily Juice. This is why I'm taking the Bucs. Not because it's Brady and the talent and whatnot. Here's why. I believe the Panthers decided to go after it last week to beat the Chiefs, to basically have a scalp to talk about as Matt Rule in year 1 beat Kansas City on the road at KC. Until they pushed it to Christian McCaffrey, and they got him hurt. And by doing that, they pushed all their chips into the middle of the table, and they lost. And so I think coming back in this game after going after it on the road, it's an emotional letdown spot. It's an angry team for the Bucs. Brady, after losses historically, has been absolutely an ATM machine. And I think after scoring just 3 points last week and looking completely inept on offense, I think it's back to the drawing board. I think this defense gets back to work. I just expect a much different team out of Tampa. There's too much talent on that team, and it's a divisional game for them, and they know they have to have it. So I think it's a 10-point victory. If it's not, again, I'm going to be in a world of hurt here. So that, to me, is where I'm at. That's where I'm going after it here for the Bucs. I just think Brady and company find a way. And that defense for the Panthers is not good, okay? They don't get any pressure on Brady, and that's what the Saints did. They blitzed the holy heck out of him, and there's no real pressure coming, in my mind, from that defensive front for the Panthers. And if they blitz, that's going to leave one-on-one opportunities for Evans. And look, I think Evans may have a big day. I wouldn't recommend him with a player prop, but if you like flyers, I think Evans to have a touchdown today is a pretty good bet. I think Evans to have a big game receiving is probably a pretty good bet, because those comments after what happened in the game that Mike Evans was open and it basically throwing Brady under the bus by Bruce Arians, I mean, that kind of is a symbol. If that is the case, if it's true that Mike Evans had a bunch of opportunities and he didn't capitalize, or Brady didn't give him the football, give him the chance to capitalize, well, then I think that there's a real conversation there to have about Mike Evans today and what he might be able to do. So that's kind of where, if you're looking around as to, like, you know, playing a scenario out, Brady force-feeding Evans could happen today, in particular in the red zone. So maybe Evans to have a touchdown. Anytime touchdown, maybe a play. First player to score a touchdown as well, maybe a play to make. So we'll see with that. New Jersey Killer says golf. Look, you may not like golf. I love golf. I've been playing it my entire life. Having a Masters on the same day as an NFL Sunday is insane. I mean, we've never had this. We never had the intensity, the rubbernecking that's going to be going back and forth. And that's why there are 6 games, right, in the afternoon window now, which is brilliant, right? For the NFL to say, okay, look we got the Masters coming. A lot of people are going to be glued to the Masters. Let's kind of force feed it here, and let's stack the late window. And let's not put some of the better games in the early window. Let's put it in the late window to capitalize on the ratings, because the one thing that can contend with football, not beat football, but contend with football, is the freaking Masters. So I don't blame the NFL for doing that, saying, hey, you know, let's just kind of tip of the cap here. Let's let the Masters tournament wrap up, and then we'll get into it here and expect big numbers in the 425 window. Expect big numbers, because frankly the Masters is going to be long gone by then, because the weather, the sun will be down. They don't want to be dealing with that crap. They want to be over. Now, can Dustin Johnson rebound and take care of business? Let's see. So far, he's got a one-stroke lead here on the 6th hole, so not great, but they're moving pretty quick on this. Okay. Brad says, man, Brady better bounce back. I started Brady over Ben last week. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's definitely something to look at for that. I think there's definitely a conversation. Brendan says, Matt, the last 2 hats the team's lost. I don't think the hat is good juju. Maybe there's something to that, but if you watch my radio show, that's actually not the case. So maybe on the live stream there may be something to it, but I change my hats all the time. The last 2, huh? So the Chargers, what was the last one 2 weeks ago? I don't remember what the last hat was 2 weeks ago. DJ hits a birdie. Beautiful. Okay, needed that. Dustin Johnson goes back up by 2. So, I mean, I don't remember. Yes, the Chargers, look it. That game killed me. All right, I literally was pacing around. I've got upstairs, downstairs. I have like a man cave downstairs. So not here where we do the radio show and the live stream, but this is like my radio studio. I was pacing around. I was just like walking around, and both plays. I was so mad. The first play by the Chargers, I totally understood the fade pattern. I had no bleeping idea what the hell they were doing with the second one. I mean, why? There's 1 second left. You can call any play you want. You can even run the football. Like you need to play. You need to have your best play. Im just made a bogey. That's monster as well. But Cameron Smith is playing well. But Im just with a bogey. So 2-stroke swing there on the 6th hole for Im and Dustin Johnson. But I mean, to me, I am. looking at my TV set and I'm going, that's your best play? Game on the line? Donald, to that guy? I know he's 6'8", but, to that guy? Really? Like, what are you doing? Like, that was bad. Yes, Run CMC is out of this game. Do I think the Cardinals minus 2.5 from Jordan? Okay, here's the thing. As I mentioned a second ago, I've been pacing on this game, watching this game, because I hate the Bills. I hate Josh Allen, but here's the thing about the Bills. They're a warm weather team. The Buffalo Bills in Buffalo, New York, they are a warm weather team. It's weird, but they're a warm weather team. And so in Arizona, against a defense that plays a lot of man-to-man, is Budda Baker playing, by the way? Somebody check that for me and see if Budda Baker is playing, and let me know here in the comment section if Budda Baker is playing. If Budda Baker's playing, then I think that there is, it's a little better for the Cardinals. But I'm concerned here. I was going to tease the Bills up. Okay, I was going to tease them from plus 2.5 to plus 8.5 as being part of the teaser. But I got nervous with the COVID stuff. So I punted on the game entirely. And I was like, you know what? I've been getting burned by COVID. I don't know how big of a deal is it that Josh Norman's not playing, but I didn't know how many players are going to be out. And it's just, I hate this COVID stuff and the secrecy and how it just doesn't, it's very complicated to know, okay, what does that do when you take out 2 or 3 defenders? How does that change the defense? It's not ideal. So I passed on it entirely. I was just like, you know what? I don't want any part of it, and I'm just not going to go near it, and I'm good. So to me, I decided that it wasn't something that I want to get involved with. But if you want to take the Cardinals laying 2.5 against the Bills, I don't hate it. But I just think that there is, I think Kyler Murray could have a big day running and throwing, but I couldn't get there. I couldn't get to their props. There's only one prop I've got going in that game that I'll get to here in about 5 minutes on that. Alex Smith is checked down Charlie. Yeah, he is, but my goodness gracious, the guy's playing football at all is insanity. Let's be frank here. Him playing at all is just completely nuts. On the road at the Lions, catching 3 points. 63% of the bets are on the Lions there. So, that's a game I hate. Of all, if you listen to the Dan Harris and I, NFL podcast for Betting Pros that we pick every game, we both hate that game so much. We didn't want to touch it. We wanted no part of it. Because why? Because you don't know what's going to happen. Alex Smith played decent in the second half last week. Not that good in the first half, but he played decent in the second half. Matthew Stafford in that offense, who knows what the hell happens in that game. I like the defense for Washington, but not much about anything else. So, yeah, I just can't. I can't get behind that team. Either team, I can't get behind. It just doesn't work for me to go with that. I got DJs to win the Masters. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate that. Yes, I do too. I have Rahm, I've got DJ, and I've got Rory. Those are the 3, but I only gave out 1 on the Daily Juice. So for the official pick, Dustin Johnson to win the Masters, let's see what happens at plus 850. Not like I went on a limb there. I took one of the favorites, maybe the odds-on favorite to win the thing. Betting props. Betting pros props are suspect due to weather. Okay, so Vince, it's a good question. So the betting prop cheat sheet, okay, is an algorithm. All right, it's a compilation. It's a work in progress. And so, yeah, I would agree with you on some of the overs for passing totals. I don't know how they factor in weather. So I would agree with that maybe you got to kind of tread lightly here with the quarterback passing props for the games that are outdoors on the cheat sheet. It's going off of the historical data heading into a team against a defense that is giving up their historical data, if you know what I mean. The X factor is the weather. So you add weather into that, and the computer algorithm doesn't really doesn't factor it in as well as it probably should. So it's growing, it's learning, it needs data to be able to produce the algorithm. So for that reason, yes, I do think you should tread lightly with the prop bet, with the Betting Pros prop bet cheat sheet today because of weather. And definitely check the weather before. This is in pristine conditions, and what has happened in the previous 9 weeks. Heading into week 10, there is a little bit of a difference, right? So you got to be a little careful of that. I will agree with that. Drew says, Matt, are you ready for another ugly Steelers win? Yes, I am. because and then as long as the Bucks win, we're 6-3 on the Perrault 2-team teaser. Bucks to a pick, Steelers to -1. I don't care. Look, the best thing for me is Steelers to win the game by 3. Okay, I got the Bengals +7 on all of my teams, and I've got the Steelers -1 with a prop. So Pittsburgh winning by 3, money. Let's go. All about Pittsburgh winning by 3. Let's see. Buddha is in. Drake or Patrick is out for the Cardinals. Thank you. Parlay the unders in the windy games. Boys, what do we say about parlaying? We don't parlay. Do not parlay. If you're new to the live stream, let me just refresh it here a little bit, okay? Let's do the math. Take 2 games, okay? Let's take Pittsburgh and let's take the Browns, right? So if you take those 2 unders and say, okay, we're going to parlay them together, okay? If you bet $100 on both and one hits and one doesn't, you are down the juice. Most likely you're somewhere in the neighborhood of being down, like $9, right? 9 something, 9 and change, right? For the juice. If you bet $100 on that parlay and you go 1-1, you're down $100. Okay? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Because historically speaking, when it comes to parlaying, there's going to be one leg you're not going to hit, whether it be 2-leg, 3-leg, 4-leg, 5-leg, whatever it might be. Well, if you just had bet every game, if you had a 4-leg parlay and go 3-1, you're up big money. All right? So I understand that it's scary to have that much money invested in the market. And you're like, okay, if you're a $25 better and you want to put $25 down on one parlay to win $150, it's a lot more fun to do that, right? But that's eye candy. That's how the books get you guys, because they want you to think, oh my gosh, it would be awesome. That's why they publicize the $10 $2,000 parlay hit, or the $200 5, 10, 15 grand parlay hit, because the amount of people who lost that day stretch from me to Boston here in Vegas. Okay, that's what they do. That's what they want you guys to do. They want you to have that lottery mentality of like, oh crap, this is great. I'm going to be able to this is awesome. Don't parlay, okay? 2-leg teasers, I do every week, okay? I like NFL 2-leg teasers. That's why, like, at the Westgate here in Vegas, it's -140. Circa here in Vegas, it's -125. They give you a break because they want to kind of, like, entice you to do it because, look, Circa's been very aggressive in the sports gambling market trying to acquire customers. So I love that. Oh, I'm throwing pens. That's why I love that, okay? I love the -125. And so I bet my 2-team parlays most often at Circa here in Vegas. But I also bet at the Westgate a lot, and I'll bet at William Hill and bet MGM. And I've got a bunch of different options because I have a bunch of apps that I'm betting on. But it's frustrating because some of you guys would be way up if you did not parlay, if you stopped parlaying. And this is bankroll management. This is understanding, okay, I've got this much money to bet with. And you're going to be committed to maybe into more games than you like. But again, if you put in $100 into the market and you go 3-1, you're going to wind up versus putting $25 into the market and then losing. So just think about it as you build your parlays and you start thinking about all this. The reason why they let you do it is because you're going to lose. More often than not, you're going to lose. And they know it. Okay, they know it. They want you to play it, and that's why betting parlays is a bad idea. Okay, Bengals over 18.5 points today. I don't know about that. I mean, look, there's weather in the area in both Ohio and in Pittsburgh. There's big wind in Cleveland, but there's weather also in Pennsylvania. I think you got to be careful here. You might go, man, that seems low. That's 18.5. That seems, I don't know. I mean, it could very well easily be like a 17-14 type football game or 17-13 type football game. So be careful. I mean, be real careful when it comes to where we are here for some of these totals, just because of how the weather is going to impact some of these football games. Frank says, I'm nervous about the Steelers -1. Yeah, I mean, Okay, you could be nervous if you want, but I mean, I think they win the football game. I think it's gonna be a dogfight, but I think they win the football game. But again, I've got the Bengals at +7, so I understand. All right, someone's asking for the prop bets. Let's start with the prop bets. Number one prop on the show, on the live stream, is Deshaun Watson under 254.5 yards passing. That is both mine and Dan Harris's number one prop for today. Why? Weather, right? Weather. 3 games, all weather related. Top 3 prop bets are all weather related, and that's why we're running here with Deshaun Watson. I don't believe passing is going to be all that great. I would expect Watson to be somewhere around 200 yards passing. We got 54 or 45 yards of potential value if that happens here. -110. All these are at BetMGM right now for a quarter unit. Deshaun Watson under 245 yards and a half passing under Watson. Dan Harris likes that. I like that. Boom. Aaron Jones running the football for the Packers against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Weather. Look, they're going to throw the ball, but they're going to run the ball too. I don't like that Jags defense. Aaron Jones going ahead and run the football over 68.5 yards rushing. I like that a lot. I mean, depending on how swirly the winds get, but weather and cold winds, it's a running football day for the Green Bay Packers. I'll take Aaron Jones there. Gio Bernard for the Bengals against that rush-heavy, blitz-heavy Steelers defense. 33.5 seems very low to me. That seems low. Bernard to get, 10 carries today is probably pretty good value there. 33.5 yards rushing for Bernard. We're going to take him on the over given the weather. I don't think he's going to be in the passing game all that much. Anybody in the passing game all that much. Stephon Diggs, anytime touchdown. Why? Because this defense for the Cardinals, they play a lot of man-to-man, and I think this is a warm weather team in Buffalo. They're going to throw like crazy today. I just don't know about the number. I thought I would take the over for Josh Allen, but I'm not positive about that. So I want just Diggs anytime touchdown at +130. I think they will feed him. I expect him to have a pretty good day, and I think he will wind up scoring. And then this is becoming kind of a staple every week. Justin Herbert over 272.5 yards passing. Him against Tua. The defense is good for the Dolphins, but I just think this is a chance here for him to bounce back, throw the football here, put up some yards. They could be down. They don't run the ball that much. They got a couple of injuries in the backfield here. I think this is a big passing day. Herbert consistently has been going over on these props here for passing. So we're going Justin Herbert over 272.5 yards passing at -121. So Watson under, Jones over, Bernard over, Diggs touchdown, and Herbert over passing are the 5 props we got going at a half a unit coming up today. John says best pick is Herbert over passing. Like I said, he's hit every game he has started. That is true. Okay, Herbert has been consistent. Herbert has been kind of a machine here for us in the prop market, cashing, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen for him against. Look, I like the Chargers, okay, and I'm a fan of the Chargers in a way. They're just kind of like Lucy and Charlie Brown, and they just pulled the football every time you think they're going to do well. Last week, they were my favorite play of the week, and I got burned on it. So, that's just one of those things. It sucks. It's kind of a bummer, but it happens, and you just got to, what can you do? You just sort of go like, man, really? Here are your consensus picks if you are so inclined to fade the consensus for the contest. Browns -3, Bucks -5.5, Ravens -7, Dolphins -2, and the Cardinals and Broncos tied for the 5th most picked game in the Westgate Super Contest. In the Circa, the Eagles -3, Bucks -5.5, Ravens -7, Cardinals -1.5, and the Browns -3.5. I'm not psyched about that. My picks in the Circa, Bengals +7, Browns -3.5, Giants +3, Bucks -5.5, and the Ravens -7. So I have 1, 2, 3 of the 5 consensus in the Circa. Don't like that. And then Superbook, I've got Bengals +7, Giants +3.5, Bucks -5.5, Rams -1.5, and the Bears at +2.5. Again, it's Browns, Bucks, Ravens, Dolphins, Cardinals, and the Broncos. So I've dodged a bunch of those. So I've got only one in the Westgate, right? Yeah, so I only have one in the Westgate for the consensus. So we'll see what type of week it is for the consensus, good or bad. Oftentimes when we get into this part of the year, there are some issues when it comes to the algorithms and the computers and the books at week 10. This is when they make their money. This is when people have done well and they expect things to kind of keep going as they always have, and then it doesn't. And so it gets, it gets difficult. It's hard, it's difficult, and it can be tough. All right, for the Bucks, nobody really of all that. Keyshawn Vaughn is not playing, but that's not that big of a deal. So everyone playing that you want to play for the Bucks, which is good. No surprises with the Bucks. Whew. Okay, so we're good on that. I'm falling apart, it looks like. Why are you falling apart? You mean, do you mean DJ's falling apart? Not really. I mean, not yet. Look, I'll admit it. I'm not in love with the way DJ's playing, but someone's got to come up and catch him, right? So let's kind of see where we are here on that. We have to wait and see if Im or someone else is going to jump up and catch him. Im is chipping for par right now. So while, yes, it doesn't look great, but not great. Tiger, by the way, has gone into the drink on 13 on back-to-back shots. Whoo, boy. Golden Tate is active for the Giants. That's a big one. I was hoping to see that. That's why I like the Giants a lot. So that's not good for Tiger. Tiger back-to-back shots on the par 3 goes into the water. So yeah, not a good. If you faded Tiger, you like this. I stayed away from Tiger entirely for the Masters. I did not get into it with Tiger because I didn't know what to expect out of him. And if you faded him, that was pretty smart. So Im has gone bogey on 6 and 7. Dustin Johnson still leads by 2, but Cam Smith is charging. He's at 2 under par. Im has fallen 4 back now. So again, someone's going to come up and get him, and someone could be Rory. Rory is coming in a big fashion right now. He is blitzing up so he skirts by with a birdie putt on 9. So he'll stay at 11 under. So he's still pretty far back, but Rory's playing really well right now and having a really good round. So that's exciting to see from Rory McIlroy because Bryson DeChambeau was playing pretty well this morning. So Tiger zips it back into the drink on back-to-back shots. Oh, man, they just shaved the front of that hole, and now Tiger's in the water. What's he going to put up? So Tiger's going to put up at the front of Amen Corner, what, a triple at some point? Somewhere in that neighborhood? Ooh, boy, that's not good. Okay. Any idea on Murray or Josh Allen rushing props? Look, I mean, the books have figured out I thought about betting the anytime touchdown for Kyler Murray, right? But the books have figured it out. The best number I saw on a rushing prop for Kyler Murray was minus 170. Nick Chubb, by the way, officially active today. That's great. So, minus 170. You could get, 2 weeks ago, you were getting plus money on Kyler Murray rushing touchdowns. Now, they're not going to do that. So, they're making you pay a price, and defenses are going to figure it out as well. They're going to look at the red zone offense and try to stop Kyler Murray, make them score in a different way. So, Josh Allen rushing props, don't love it because the weather is not, it's perfect. It's a dome. So, I think Josh Allen's a better rushing prop guy in bad weather. But they're going to key in on him, and they're going to try to stop him as much as possible. So, I don't like the Josh Allen rushing props. I don't mind Kyler Murray rushing props because of the way that the Bills play and how aggressive they can be sometimes. But I still think that the best prop would be him as a rushing touchdown. But over 50, was it 50 and a half on that? Right? For Murray somewhere? So Tiger's 6th shot, oh my gosh, into the water again. Tiger Woods has gone into the water, drop, into the water, drop, over the green, into a trap, into the water. He may withdraw. He's now he's doing the whole my back hurts thing. Tiger Woods is going to put up, so let's see. That was 6. Into the water, 7. He's hitting 8. I mean, he's going to put up a double-digit number. Tiger Woods is going to put a double-digit number up on the board here. Look, I love Tiger. I do. But it is somewhat gratifying when the best player of all time has a hole that you and I have all had, right? We've all had that hole. We've all had that ridiculous hole where you just like, give me a snowman, you pick up and you walk. He's dropping in the bunker. He's going back to hit out of the bunker now. Oh, boy. Okay. Tiger on 12. Sorry, I said it was 13. It's on 12. The start of Amen Corner. Tiger Woods is absolutely blowing up. What about over 49 in the Dolphins game today? All right, so Dolphins, I mean, I don't mind it, okay? I don't mind. Let's see where the money is on that game again for the Dolphins here. Because I do think points are going to, I think both offenses are going to want to show out here. So in terms of the total, 48.5, there are 90% of the money is on the over. Now, what are you asking me? 49? It's 48.5 this morning. Now it's 49. 90% of the bets, 90% of the money. Pros and Joes are both expecting big numbers out of the Chargers and the Dolphins. Look, it's Tua versus Herbert, right? Whenever you get a matchup like this and you have Tua versus Herbert, whenever you have something like that, you always have to be at least a little bit, you have to look at it a little bit as like both offensive coordinators, both receiving groups, both running backs. They all get jacked up and jazzed up for this, right? There's always this added intensity and added pressure when it comes to a matchup like this when you have the guy that was taken 4th and the guy that was taken 5th, or is it 5th and 6th? I always forget which one that is. I think it's 5th and 6th, right? So you have, the Dolphins took Tua first, and then Herbert got drafted by the Chargers, and everyone was like, Miami, you didn't play Tua, and then Herbert gets the start because of the Tyrod Taylor injection problem. And everyone's like, okay, look at Herbert. Look how good he is. And so all this pressure was on the Dolphins to play their guy. You went ahead, you drafted this guy ahead of the guy we're watching, and Herbert looked really good. All right, so how good is Tua? We know how good the number 1 pick is playing right now in Cincinnati and Joe Burrow. So what do you got with Tua? He's 2-0. He played like crap in the first game, played way better in the second game than I thought he was going to play. The defense has scored, though, in back-to-back games. Okay? The Dolphins, if their defense doesn't score today, can they win? Can they win without that extra 7 points? Because, look, special teams touchdowns and defensive touchdowns for dog plays are money. For overs and for money, for dogs, that's what you want. If you see a defensive touchdown or a kick return, punt return for a touchdown, you have an over, you're feeling very good. If you have a dog and your dog does that, you should feel very good. Those are the plays that cash tickets. Those are the plays that make you feel pretty good about the side that you're on if you see it. So the Dolphins in back-to-back weeks, they dominated the Rams offense, but the Rams on the other side, it was a historic game in terms of yardage differential. 3rd highest in the last 20 years in favor of the Rams, but they got smoked. Then they go on the road to the Cardinals, and they score again. And all of a sudden, you're like, my goodness gracious, this team is really something defensively. So let's see what they do today against Herbert and the Chargers. Again, I like Herbert passing prop today a lot. Is the Packers minus 13.5 too big? I don't think it's too big. I'm very concerned about the heaviness. 83% of the bets, the public is all on the Packers, right? The number 1 pick in the Circa Survivor are the Green Bay Packers, 206 teams. The next highest is 70, right? So everyone right now is on the Packers to win. Everyone's on the Packers to cover. You got to be careful, all right? Again, when everyone's going one way, it's not a bad idea just to fade it and just to say, hey, we're going to go the other way, and you'll cash more often than not. So is it too heavy? I would say yeah. Is it a stay-away game with the weather? Yes. If you haven't bet it yet, I would say don't bet that game. I don't like that game. I think that number is a no-play number. And, maybe you tease it down, and that's one way of approaching it, but I just don't like it. Green Bay should win that game going away. Jacksonville's not good. It's cold. It's a warm-weather team outdoors with wind. That's why I like Aaron Jones rushing props today. I think he runs the football a lot, but that doesn't really help you for a 13.5-point line If Aaron Jones goes for 150 yards rushing, that means they're not scoring quickly. They're burning clock. They're shortening the game. It's a little bit, it's tough. So, I don't know. I mean, I think it's too heavy personally on that. Zach Moss over 33.5 yards rushing. Yeah, I looked at that for Buffalo. Sure, I could see that. Yeah, I mean, the weather's not, it's perfect weather, so I prefer rushing totals, rushing props for the Bills when they are, when the weather's a problem. I think they would rather throw the football, personally. I think Josh Allen wants to throw. That's why I like Stephon Diggs to score a touchdown today at plus 130. When the weather's good, they want to be, an outdoor warm weather team. They play more like an outdoor team from Arizona than the Cardinals do, to be quite honest. The Cardinals throw the ball, but they dink and dunk a lot. All over the top throws for Josh Allen. They love going deep to Diggs, and they got Brown back, by the way, as well. So that's the one big X factor about taking Arizona, is that John Brown playing, when he's been on the field, Diggs has had big days. So he needs somebody for those secondaries, for those safeties, to shade so they don't double team Diggs all day long. Now you got a guy on the other side to stretch the defense. So that's why oftentimes you'll see Diggs have bigger games when he's got Brown on the other side. How about the over for the Raiders and the Broncos? I'm all over that. Yeah, that's my one overplay is the Raiders and the Broncos. So 50 is where I got it. It's 50.5 right now, and you guys can always see the over there. You'll see the bets I've made here on the side of the screen. But the reason why I played the over is this. Okay, so there's no pass rush for the Raiders. It's since they let go of Khalil Mack, they haven't replaced him. They can stop the run, but they don't get after the quarterback. And that's a problem, okay? Because I think Drew Lock, when he has time, isn't horrible. And he's got weapons. He's got young receivers to throw to. Yes, Arnett's playing today, and you have Abram as a thumper in that secondary at corner and safety for the Raiders. And I like that secondary. But I think without a pass rush, you really don't take advantage of what your guys have and their ability to cover. Anybody who has time in the NFL can get open. So that's my concern here for that Raiders defense. And on the other side, so many injuries on that Broncos defense. I think the Raiders are going to score a lot of points today. I think you could easily see big plays from Henry Ruggs. I think Waller has a good day. I think they run the football with Jacobs. I think the offensive line's getting healthier for the Raiders. Derek Carr's playing really well. I do expect the Raiders to win this game, but I didn't like the number. I don't like 4.5, 5. It concerns me a little bit. Money's come in on the Broncos. Sharp money's coming on the Broncos. So it sort of kept me away from this game and kind of made it into a no play, except that I do think offense is going to happen. I don't like either defense. So over 50, I like that play a lot. Let's see. Kyler Murray or Tua to have a bigger game. I got to think about that. That's a tough one. Because I like the secondary for the Chargers. Their defense is so banged up. Bosa's out. It's more likely, in my opinion, it's more likely that a shootout happens for the Dolphins and the Chargers than it is for Kyler Murray and the Bills. It's more likely. So if I don't like that question, but if I had to say that, I probably would say Tua. But I don't like that, personally. I don't like that. I've been wrong on Tua, though. So I'm going to fade my own opinion here for a second, and I'm going to say Tua, although I don't like that question. That's a hard question. Let me see. Still taking Herbert over 277.5. I got it at 272.5 this morning at BetMGM. Yeah, I mean, it's 5 yards. I mean, it matters, okay? I mean, 1 yard matters, to be quite honest. But, I mean, I think anything under 280, I think I probably would take. I mean, he's had big games throwing the football. I mean, he's had 300-yard games. And what we know is over the last 4 weeks, his percentage of throws, passing plays versus running plays have consistently gone up. So they're at like 63%, 64% passing now. So they are a passing offense. They're not a running offense anymore. They're a passing offense. And I wouldn't blame them. I mean, you got Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, and you got weapons out there to throw to. So Yeah, Herbert up to 280. I probably think would be okay. Take the over for that for Herbert. Tease up Cincy and the Niners. It fits a Wong teaser. Okay, so what's more likely? Okay, let me ask you this question. What's more likely? That Pittsburgh wins the game by 1 or Pittsburgh blows out, wins by 2 touchdowns? Isn't it more likely that Pittsburgh wins the game by 1? And aren't you a little more concerned that Cincy could, if you take it to 7-13, they lose by 14? Could you see Cincinnati losing by 14 today? I could. So I think you have to be a little concerned if you're going to take that and you're going to say, I'm taking, and I'm going to tease that game one way or the other. I mean, that's why I went the other way. That's why I teased it down. So if you're telling me the Bengals are going to be in the game, then why not take the Bengals outright on the money line? Like, why even get involved with a teaser there? If you think the Bengals are going to be in the game like that, then, I think it's more likely Pittsburgh wins the game by 3. So I go the other way. I would tease Pittsburgh down to 1 or a half or pick, whatever it winds up being. And then on the other side, you got the Niners. You're going to go up. I mean, again, this is where teasing up into double digits. I mean, I guess so, but isn't it more likely that to take the Packers and tease the Packers down? Not the Packers, sorry. Tease, I'm forgetting who the Niners are playing here. The Saints. Isn't it better to tease the Saints down and say, okay, the Saints are going to win the game by 4? Isn't that a better way of doing it? So, again, you have to game theory. When it comes to teasers, you got to game theory it out as to what's more likely to happen in your mind. I mean, this is gambling, right? We're betting on this stuff to happen, so we're in the prediction business. What's more likely? You want to eliminate variables as much as possible. And do you think the Niners get killed today? Yeah. Is that possible? Hell yeah. Did the Saints just kill the Bucs? Yes. This is a sharp play. A lot of people are saying, look at the Niners, their defense, they run the football. Okay, but it's backups all over the place. Backup quarterbacks, backup running backs. I mean, yes, Brandon Ayuk coming back is a big deal. I'm not going to debate that point. But, you're selling high on the Saints after what they just did to the Bucs, and they were on the road when they did it, so it's, short week, coming back. Okay, all that and fine. What's more likely? Always ask yourself that question before you make the wager. What's more likely of a set of circumstances to happen before you place the bet? What if I tease up for Jacksonville? That's a huge spread for a relatively low-scoring game. That's absolutely true. Okay, so the total's under 50. Double-digit spreads with a total under 50. Yeah, absolutely. There's weather involved. Sure. I mean, if you're going to give Jacksonville 19.5 points, that's very possible. Yep, that's very, very possible. Basically, all you need is 10 points out of Jacksonville. What you're saying there is, can the Jags score 10 points? Can they run? Because we know that defense can't stop the run. If Jacksonville can run the football or at least pick up enough yardage to get 10 points, you have to feel pretty good about that. I mean, to be catching nearly 20 points in an NFL game with weather and the total being at 50, yeah, I mean, that's not a bad way of playing. I don't mind. I don't mind that teaser. Do you think Detroit will beat Washington outright? Honest to God, I have no idea. I hate that game so much. Dan Harris and I, if you listen to our podcast, both of us hate that game so much. I don't know what happens in that game. Alex Smith played well in the second half. Didn't play well in the first half when he came in, in relief. But for Kyle Allen when he got hurt. But I don't know. I mean, could I see Washington win the game outright? Yep. Could I see a blowout? Yep. I don't like that game at all. Drew Lock over 22.5 completions. Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to say yeah. Yeah, I'll say yeah. I mean, I think that both teams are going to throw the football. I mean, I think both teams are going to be throwing the ball. What did Tiger card, by the way? He's 4 over. Just showing him. So did he go from 4 under to 4 over? Was that 8 over par for Tiger Woods? Is that what he did? My gosh, that's crazy if that happens. Heavy money on Washington. Giants, a 10. Thanks, Scott. A 10. He carded it on a par 3. A 10. My goodness. A 10. What's that even called? That's 7 over par. Is there even a word for that? Is there even a name for 7 over par? Dustin Johnson, by the way, is lining up an eagle putt right now. So if he hits this, I'm going to feel really good about where we are right now for Dustin Johnson with that plus 850. Heavy money on Washington. It says Kurt. Okay. Washington could be a little upset money line sprinkle. Okay. Yeah. I don't mind that. Again, I mean, like if you tell me you're going to stand on a table and you're pushing and pulling for Washington to win, I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to go, oh, that's crazy. Again, I don't know. I don't know which side that game I hate. I absolutely hate that game. Tiger having a 10 on any hole was 150-1. Who the heck put up 150-1? Who put that up? What book had to have been offshore? No American book put that up. 150-1? That's incredible. And if you bet that and you hit that, I want to see the ticket because I don't believe you. I guess you could say he scores a 10 on a par 5. Like having a quintuple on a par 5 is not that insane. But a 10 on a par 3, that he normally has ripped apart, that's absolutely insane. That is an incredible wacko score for Tiger. All right, Dustin misses the eagle putt, but he should clean that up for an easy, well, not too. Yeah, it's a little bit of a trickier putt coming back up the hill for a birdie, but he needs to hit that. So hopefully Dustin Johnson keeps going with where he is on that. Okay, let me just go ahead and reset here where we are for our prop bets. Okay, Deshaun Watson. That is Dan Harris and I. We both agree. Both love that prop. Watson under 245.5 yards passing. The other prop, by the way, for Dan Harris, I gave you one. Dan's other prop is John Brown over 47.5 yards receiving. Okay, I like that too. John Brown's going to have, I think, a big game there. On the other side, I like Diggs to score a touchdown. He likes John Brown on the other side to come up with over 47.5 yards passing. So we both like Watson, 245.5 under, and the 47.5. Actually, Dan played it at 244.5. I played it at 245.5 this morning at BetMGM. We're going Jones over 68.5 yards rushing at minus 129. Gio Bernard over 33.5 yards rushing for the Bengals at minus 121. Diggs anytime touchdown plus 130. And Herbert over 272.5 yards passing at minus 121 are the prop bets I like for today. 5 of them at a quarter unit apiece for that. Let's see. The word is terrible. A septuple bogey. You only know how to say it if you scored one yourself. A septuple bogey, 7 over. You know, isn't it funny that you can't just you can't just take an 8 and walk off the course? Be like, you know what? I'm just taking a snowman and I'm done. Oh my gosh. Okay, there it is. Teddy Greenstein. Thank you, Teddy. I appreciate that. That's really nice of you from PointsBets. He puts it up. A $1 wager paid out $151 on Tiger Woods, and Teddy bet it saying, okay, maybe this won't work out. He bet that on the 13th of November. So he bet that on Thursday that Tiger Woods would score a 10 plus on any hole, and then it cashed. How about Teddy? I'm so happy for Teddy, by the way, that Teddy has worked phenomenally in the Chicago market for years as one of the best sports reporters in Chicago, and him joining our side, joining the dark side, if you will. That 10 on Tiger's scorecard is crazy to see, by the way. And he comes back with a birdie. How about Tiger? Bogey, par, septuple bogey, birdie. There's a score line for you for Tiger. But Teddy joining us, that's phenomenal. So thank you, Jersey Shore Score on Twitter, right? Yeah, Jersey SCRE. So not score, but Jersey Shore Score with no O on Twitter. Thank you for alerting me on that one. I appreciate that. One bet for $1 paying out at $151. That's pretty good. That's more than pretty good. That's damn good. That's awesome. That's really, really cool. Gronk Andrews or Fant. Aiden, this is not that for this. That's not what we do. We don't do start or stop here or start or bench, whatever. I don't play DFS. I can't. It's illegal here, or it's not legalized, I should say, here in Las Vegas. There are no DFS companies operating here in Nevada. Let's see. Okay. Anything else, guys, on this? I think we've done a pretty good job with this, coming through all these things. Let's make some money. I would agree. Jones is now 74.5 on FanDuel. Wow. See, these prop bets, man. I get up at 6:45 Pacific time, and I bet them at like 7:15 before we do the live stream. I got it at 68.5 at BetMGM, and FanDuel's at 74.5 because only a couple. See, the thing that moves these props, if you bet, $500 on a prop, you move the line a ton. Like, it doesn't take a lot to move the line. $500 and it moves all over the place. So, yeah. Oh my gosh, what a shot by Cameron Smith. Wow, what a shot. Cameron Smith is playing his butt off right now. That is a hell of a shot out of the pine straw. He almost goes into a bunker. Instead, it rolls to 2 feet. Whew. DJ better play well. This kid's going to card a pretty impressive number here. And if he falters at all, this kid's going to be right there. He'll tap in for a birdie there. What a shot by the Aussie, Cameron Smith. Whew. Okay. What's a good 6-team teaser? Come on, guys. We're not doing that. Okay. Now, as we wrap here, let me once again. Tampa -6. Rams -2. Over Denver Raiders. Under Houston Cleveland. Teaser is Bucks and the Steelers. Those 5 plays from the Daily Juice. Deshaun Watson under passing prop. Aaron Jones, over rushing prop. Gio Bernard, over rushing prop. Stephon Diggs, touchdown anytime. Herbert, over passing props are what we've got going on. You will find me in the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat. bettingpros.com/chat. We're watching Dustin Johnson, our +850. I feel good about our 2 head-to-heads by fading Bryson DeChambeau. I think we're going to cash both of those. Trying to cash all 3. So good. We up on the Masters, going 3-1 on our 4 bets in the Masters. That would be nice. And then we get into where we are here for our 10 plays now. 5 full unit plays and 5 quarter unit plays on the props and the games coming up here today for us. Hashtag Daily Juice on Twitter. bettingpros.com/chat in the Discord channel. You will find me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt. A lot going on today. Thank you for joining us. We've got a lot more to come today. A lot of games in golf to watch and talk about and everything else. Patriots and the Ravens tonight. Let's see if the Patriots can shock the world. And depending on how I do today, depending on whether or not I'll get involved with the Patriots or not. But we'll see. I may have a in-game teaser, same-game teaser thing going on. I add plays. I do at everyone when I add official plays on the Discord channel. So I do that every time I have an official play to add. Let's sweat some golf and let's sweat some football, guys. Appreciate you being here every single week on the Betting Pros YouTube channel for our live stream for the Daily Juice. And I'll talk to you tomorrow morning for another edition of the Daily Juice. BettingPros.com being brought to you by BetMGM. Have a great Sunday. I will talk to you soon.